This is Sybert signing into General's Evolution on the map Twilight Flame for a 3v3 finally on a map that is not DEFCON 6. Makes me very excited. And we're going to be kicking it off with the blue China tank in the north. This is Windows 98. Scrolling around, playing the blue China, or the blue GLA demo. This is Kylerino. And the other blue GLA demo, why, this is KING-MORA. So it is blue versus red in this case, and we do have a double GLA demo team in the north. Playing GLA Stealth, this is E1A2. And playing the orange China tank, this is lounderr. Meanwhile, the pink playing just vanilla GLA, this is targetmonkey. It is a 3v3, and it is not on DEFCON 6. It's very exciting to not be on DEFCON 6. We do have an all-China and GLA 3v3 in this case. No USA representation, although in that last 3v3 that I uploaded, there was a little extra USA representation, and that's all I'll say. If you have not seen that game, it is a super entertaining one to watch for sure. Twilight Flame, 8 oil derricks here in the middle of the map to be fought over. So the potential of a lot of money, but they're also very centrally located, so would not be surprised to see them eliminated quite quickly from this game. And Happy New Year. Welcome to 2024. We made it. It's finally happened. And welcome to pretty much the end of the daily uploads. I had a little secret, not secret in the fact of like I was keeping it from people, but I just made like a private goal for myself that I wanted to upload one video every day in the month of December. And well, it's bled over a couple of days into the new year, so it's going to be, I think, 34 videos in a row, kicking it off with the Chrono Clash finals way back there on December 1 and ending tomorrow, actually, January 3rd, as these technicals duke it out in the north, and targetmonkey gets a couple of kills here. And despite the fact that there is a Gat Cannon coming in from the Chinese ally, it is going to be not enough because that Gat Cannon is low power. So sad for the GLA player who has to defend himself. Kyle has to bring his own technicals to defend that location. KING-MORA did manage to get a tunnel network in the back, but it has been spotted. So good on the blue team for spotting that. But yeah, 34 days of videos. Some absolute bangers in there, but one a day from December 1st all the way through January 3rd. And which will be tomorrow from the day that this goes up. And there goes the tunnel network. Unfortunately for KING-MORA, his valiant efforts will not be rewarded. That tunnel network was shut down very, very quickly. A couple of little mix of flak tanks and scorpions here from KING-MORA. Going to be putting some pressure into the corner. And, well, it's going to be a double oil derrick capture as well for Kyle. So Kyle and E1A2, two of the standout players in this game. But targetmonkey and KING-MORA have also put out some good games that we've seen somewhat recently on the channel. Windows 98, I'm not sure that we've seen him recently on the channel. I feel like he does okay in the games. Maybe he has some big mistakes or some oversights, but he also, you know, plays well enough. And then lounderr is a little bit of a question mark for me. Not sure who this player is. Very well could be a smurf of someone we do recognize, but I guess we'll see. But yeah, so lots of good videos over the month of December as these Gats engage these Scorps and Quads. Targetmonkey will be getting pushed back. I don't think he can deal with the Battlemaster Mark IIs as they get pumped out by 2 or 3 war factories at once. And targetmonkey might be able to trade out against the Gats, but the reinforcements will stop him from progressing any further. Meanwhile, good bunch of technicals coming in from Kylerino on the south side of the map. Going to be sneaking through the defense, maybe picking off a couple of Ooh, Firestorm does not ignite. Maybe picking off a couple. Oh, that is not going to ignite a Firestorm either. Those technicals escaping and surviving a bit longer than they otherwise would have as they are hunting those supply trucks around the south side of the map. Now, at the same time, it looks like Windows 98 or probably KING-MORA was able to clear out that corner of the map, continuing to put some pressure on E1A2 down there in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. Meanwhile, here in the top left-hand corner, Windows 98 is going to have to defend himself, the only China player on the north side. And I guess the only one of two China players in this game. It is Manticore APCs versus mostly flak tanks. I think there are a couple of Scorpions left in here, but these demo Scorps and flak tanks are not going to survive long enough to actually do any damage to the GLA in the south. The next wave of the attack is ready for KING-MORA, so he is readying himself a couple of forces here on the front line. Meanwhile, Kyle pushes up the front of the hill, but everybody got to rocket buggies basically at the same time, and still no Firestorm ignites here. A couple of rocket buggies do get cleaned up on the front line, but no Firestorm ignites to catch those units as they are retreating. Rocket buggies from targetmonkey going to be able to pick off a couple of these Battlemaster Mark IIs as they try and retreat. It does take a lot of rockets to knock down a Battlemaster Mark II, but it does happen eventually. Meanwhile, E1A2 has invested quite heavily into those rocket buggies and is going to be able to chip away at the forces of Windows 98 and KING-MORA as they try and push down the right side of the map. This is going to be KING-MORA looking for the kill on E1A2, having to defend on two fronts at once. KING-MORA attacking in two different places with the help of Kyle on the front lines here on the left. Rocket buggies pushing back and forth. E1A2 definitely getting double teamed here with the use of these rocket buggies. He is somewhat defending both sides. This may actually be adequate defense to push back both Kyle and KING-MORA at the same time. Meanwhile, on the Windows 98 side of the map, still a lot of pressure from targetmonkey, but targetmonkey hasn't actually made it inside of the base of Windows 98 just yet. Rocket buggies chipping away at that war factory. MiGs in the sky for our China player in the north. Lounderr has taken over a number of the oil derricks, but hasn't actually fielded too big of an army. Gats and a cluster mine drop is a welcome addition to the defense of E1A2. Meanwhile, rocket buggies continuing to chip away at the China forces in the north. Lounderr steps out onto the field, going to be going toe-to-toe with these flak tanks. One of the oil derricks nearly goes down, but it does survive. Observation post has been captured by Kyle in the north, so Team Blue has a bit of a foothold there. Rocket buggies from E1A2 are going to make short work of at least those two southern oil derricks. The two northern oil derricks on the right side survive for now. Targetmonkey continuing to trade blows with Windows 98 in the north. And the MiG Firestorm, it seems, finally catches as all of the forces get wiped out there from the middle of the map. Palace on the high ground, a really good position there by KING-MORA. That's a really nice position for that Palace to just lock down that high ground. Meanwhile, sneak attack or something has brought a lot of Scorpions to the yard, and targetmonkey putting forces out onto this map every place that he can. He's going to be able to target down the airfield, knock that down. Will he get much more than that? That remains to be seen. He is going to be able to push down this war factory at the same time, so airfield and a war factory going down would be nice. Definitely slows down the production of Windows 98 by quite a bit, but no, the airfield doesn't actually go down. The war factory does get eliminated, but at least these MiGs have somewhere to land, and one or two of these supply trucks may be getting eliminated before the day is done. Targetmonkey, or E1A2 rather, going to be taking a swing at these buildings in the middle of the map. Most of the oil derricks have been wiped out now. On the right side, they're all completely gone, and one has been eliminated from the left side. Windows 98, he needs a desperate update of help, and and he will be able to, I think, call in the Demo Rebel Surprise to clean up those forces and chip away at those tanks. The command center is low on health, but the rocket buggies here from Kyle should be able to push this back. Will it be in time? The Scorpion tanks reloading their rockets and firing their shells at that command center, chipping away at that health too slowly over time to actually knock it down. Target Monkey refueling and rearming his rocket buggies, always with a healthy number of them, and he's going to need them to stop the forces of Windows 98. Windows 98 has at least saved his command center, and I'm sure at this point he's got a backup command center on the way somewhere. If he doesn't, then he is definitely going to want that very soon. MiGs in the sky, Windows 98 and Kyle Areno joining forces here on the left side to try and push down Target Monkey. And this may be one of those games where they have decided to skip super weapons and they're just playing it out with straight up armies. Target Monkey always defending with tons of rocket buggies, but is it going to be enough? The combined forces have not yet stepped onto the low ground. And, well, two potential command centers coming up here from lounderr to provide a lot of static D. This corner of the map still under the control of E1A2. Those stealth expansions being of great benefit to him in this game. Rocket buggies trading shots. Nice split of those MiGs. A different target for basically every single MiG. Doesn't need to ignite the firestorm. Just burns down all of the targets individually. lounderr loses another GAT in the middle of the map. Only two of the oil derricks remain, and they are about to go down. Palace gets eliminated, and whatever units were inside of there also went down with the Palace. The engineer did not make it in time. Oil derrick will be saved for now. Artie shows up for Kyle Areno. He's going to be able to launch a strike, and one single Scorpion tank making it through the defense is going to finish the job from earlier. I hardly think so. I think that China general is not going to let that happen. A couple of RPG troopers going to be targeting down this arms dealer, and suddenly KING-MORA under a bit of threat here on the right side. I'm guessing KING-MORA does already have a backup base and a big demo rebel surprise, I can only imagine, to eliminate all of those rocket buggies and attacking units. However, the RPG troopers still stand tall. It'll be up to a couple of extra demo rebels to clean them up. E1A2 calls in some stealth rebels to burn down the building with Molotov cocktails, and the top left-hand corner of the map once again remains empty of any buildings. A couple of players have tried to take that area. Windows 98 has finally reclaimed all of the health on his command center. He's finally re-established that. But yeah, this very well could be a game where they've all decided to not go for any super weapons. Or it's not uncommon for GLA players to skip super weapons, so maybe the two China players have also just decided that they'd rather build army instead of going for those super weapons. Pretty much everyone's spending all of their cash extremely quickly all throughout this game. No one has gone completely insane by Gen Evo standards in terms of economy. There's no one who's sitting at like plus 30k per minute, but we do have two players at plus 17 or plus 18k. So E1A2 and Kyle both have absolutely massive economies that can produce essentially infinitely at this point. Demo Rebel Surprise once again comes in to clean out a big chunk of these rocket buggies, and that is the one super weapon that we are seeing utilized in this game. Once again, China trying to defend these oil derricks, the last free money generators on the map. Black napalm explodes on that command center, but not enough to take it down. Rocket buggies chipping away at this China tank army in the north. Windows 98 always worried about being eliminated and being, leaving only one China player left in this GLA fest of a 3v3. MiGs come in. They go, I think they just went for a couple of flak tanks. I'm not sure that they really got too much there. Might be splitting the targets now between the Artie. MiGs pretty much all go down, but the artillery strikes have stopped. The Katyusha is not able to knock down those oil derricks. Meanwhile, on the right side of the map, these stealth supply stashes have been found out, or maybe they haven't been, and he's just force firing the ground, trying to get the kill on them. More Scorpions going for the kill, and finally the airfield does go down. Target Monkey's attack is successful at eliminating that airfield. All of the MiGs get off the deck though. No big harm to Windows 98. Rocket buggies looking for some damage. Airfield coming up there in the north. Sneak attack in the back of the base of Target Monkey. Can he actually shut this down? A number of rocket buggies sneaking out from courtesy of Kyle Areno. And also some Katyushas as well. Finally, the sneak attack does go down, and Target Monkey should be able to deal with this. Some help of lounderr bringing in the MiGs to help burn down that sneak attack. Nicely done. Flak tanks might be able to take down a couple of these black markets, might be able to chip away at the economy of Target Monkey, who's currently sitting at plus 13k per minute. A very healthy economy indeed. Windows 98 going to be pressuring the north while Kyle Areno keeps up the pressure in the south. Kyle Areno is about to run out of forces though. He's only got a couple of flak tanks left. One of them has gone heroic, but they're getting eliminated one by one. And finally, they do go down, detonating on that black market to get the guaranteed kill there. And meanwhile, E1A2 continuing to trade out with these rocket buggies. He's using his rocket buggies for all they're worth on the right side of the map. lounderr, on the other hand, has managed to keep the only two oil derricks left on the map under his control. Kyle Areno at plus 22k per minute has massed a huge army in the middle of the map, and already strike fires off somewhere. A barrage is going to be coming down as a stealth rebel ambush gets deployed on the right side of the map. And massive explosion, I think, on a couple of war factories as the demo rebel surprise comes in and cuts down the production of E1A2. He's now floating 20 grand in the bank, a huge amount of cash that he wants to convert into army, but he just can't. A couple of gats here from lounderr, buying enough time until the rocket buggies get back. The rocket buggies can't directly engage the army, but they can chip away at it from a distance. Kyle Areno keeping the front line moving forward. Firestorm ignites, cutting this army in half. The front half of the army has to deal with the haphazard forces of lounderr coming in, a couple of gats here or there, and the rocket buggies. But that MiG strike in the middle of the army absolutely slicing Kyle in half. His attack lost a lot of momentum in that moment, and lounderr, not one for active play out on the map, but you have to hand it to lounderr for the defensive plays, helping out his teammates. Once again, the MiGs come through, absolutely igniting so many of those rocket buggies. A sneak attack being called in defensively by Kyle Areno. That means it's not being used on the other side of the map. Only one Katyusha, one flak tank, and one Scorpion managed to sneak on out of that sneak attack before it gets shut down. Anthrax shells poisoning the ground as this army retreats. Mine drop, yeah, cluster mine drop courtesy of the Orange China player, going to be bringing in some extra defense for E1A2, who's now floating 30k in the bank. Terrible side of the terrible side of losing your war factories is all of that float that you wish was units. Couple more rocket buggies exploding as the MiGs find their targets, cleaning up numerous rocket buggies from E1A2, weakening the defense by that much more. And at the same time, Target Monkey finally breaks the command center, shuts down the build radius of Windows 98 in the north. I have to assume he does. Okay, yeah, there is an additional command center there on the right side. So this blue China tank player is not done and dusted. He is not out of this game just yet. E1A2 standing strong in the south with his massive 27k per minute of income. But at the same time, they have not broken the team in the north. Windows 98 and KING-MORA are definitely not hauling quite as much as Kylerino. Kylerino just absolutely massive with 24K per minute of income. A huge, huge economy underneath him. Carpet bomb coming in on top of the production. Gets one war factory, not the palace though. Doesn't shut down the palace. That would have been an amazing strike. Firestorm doesn't have to ignite because 5-6 buggies all disappear. E1A2 getting slammed again and again and again. But I have a feeling that Target Monkey is going to be putting a target on his own back so that he can draw the attention off of E1A2 in the south. Force Kylerino's attention away from the southern half of the map. KING-MORA and Kylerino have been trying to break E1A2 in the south, and they just have not been able to do it. Meanwhile, Target Monkey almost seemingly single-handedly able to knock down Windows 98 and take him from, like, I don't know, 10K per minute down to 2K per minute. Briefly, he was at 0.3K per minute, just a measly $300 per minute coming in for Windows 98. But of course, Kyle has got more than enough cash for everyone. E1A2 and Kyle staying extremely consistent. Ooh, well, that Firestorm is almost going to do as much damage to the enemy as it does friendly fire. And fortunately, the black market does survive for now. Anthrax bomb poisons the area. Any reinforcements that come through there will be severely damaged. And Target Monkey is now going to be feeling the full force of 30K per minute as Kylerino descends down this hill and says, "You come after my team, I'll come after you." It's a return strike of Anthrax on the other side of the map. Half of the right side of the map is just coated in these giant Anthrax bombs, poisoning supply centers and production facilities, as well as reinforcement paths, all alike. Just a massive amount, and an arty strike with a carpet bomb on top of it, devastating the base of E1A2. Black napalm in this MiG strike burns down the command center, but no, it's not quite enough because on the left side, the push keeps coming. Kylerino with a demo rebel surprise cuts down the rocket buggy forces of Target Monkey, and Target Monkey has nearly been broken here. He may have a backup base inside of Lounder's base there in the south, but is that going to be enough? MiG strike coming in. They will concentrate their fire, not quite enough to ignite a firestorm, but this base is pretty well busted open. Even if you could defend it from one side, you probably can't defend it from all three sides that Kylerino is pushing down. Command center goes down, black markets get eliminated, and on the right side of the map, KING-MORA is keeping up the pressure. He's finally choked his way through the Anthrax and found one of E1A2's buildings. Gets the stealth reveal there, or no, he actually calls it a stealth field on his own units, I think, and maybe he has some stealth technicals or something. I'm not sure what just got called in. Oh, another cluster mine on the ground, courtesy of Windows 98. Rocket buggies from E1A2 have helped clear out the old main base of Target Monkey. Target Monkey hopefully can re-expand there quickly. Arms dealer is coming up, maybe some other buildings as well. Okay, not yet, not quite yet. Target Monkey way down in income, still bringing in a little bit though. At least there is still a little bit. Cluster mine gets dropped. Might clean up some of these technicals as they try and come back to the front line. Firestorm ignites, once again burning down nearly as many friendly units as enemy units, and rocket buggies just don't stop coming from E1A2. He has absolutely massive rocket buggy numbers, or at least he did, as they all explode there with a massive MiG strike. Windows 98's MiGs have been absolutely phenomenal, incredibly deadly against the team in the south. E1A2 in particular has lost untold legions of rocket buggies to just those MiGs coming in, striking a couple of targets, and that splash damage being absolutely massive. Carpet bomb and an arty strike on top of the command center. They will not get either target, but Kylerino has reformed his front line on the left side of the map, and the sneak attack is going to get shut down basically immediately. However, Kylerino will step up this ramp. Firestorm doesn't ignite. Once again, Kylerino is pushing in towards the team in the south. Team Red, they made a lot of progress on the left side thanks to Target Monkey, but now the progress on the right side has been slow. E1A2 has been mostly playing a defensive game for most of this game. Arms Dealer did come up for Target Monkey to try and get some more units out onto the map. KING-MORA's base might be about to be broken. Windows 98 and KING-MORA, they're both kind of shacked up together, or at least they were. And that may be coming to an end rather soon, as this dual command center base may be getting eliminated. Meanwhile, on the left side of the map, it's massive GAT numbers coming in from lounderr, and it's going to be a huge firestorm that ignites courtesy of these MiGs. They drop their bombs, and the rocket buggies trying to hold strong. The flak tanks as well, and E1A2 coming in with some reinforcements as well. Carpet bomb on the high ground doesn't land as more and more GATs move in. lounderr has the defense here to stay, and it's going to be rocket buggies pouring in from E1A2 trying to hold the line and holding it well, because it is seemingly infinite units from E1A2. 56k in the bank. His production may have gotten shut down, but he managed to get it back online, and now with the bank that he's got, he can produce constantly from many barracks and war factories all at the same time. Huge numbers of rocket buggies in the middle of the map trying to shut down the attack from Kylerino. Probably massively overkilling every unit that they attack, but an overkill is, of course, still a kill. Flak tanks getting cleaned up, rocket buggies and artillery as well as tanks alike. On the right side, E1A2 pushing up the base, the shared base of KING-MORA and Windows 98. KING-MORA's production is about to take a dive as one war factory goes down, two war factories go down. MiG strike comes in from KING-MORA, or from Windows 98, and manages to clean up some of these forces. It's going to be Kylerino moving in with reinforcements on the left side. A sneak attack, no, it's a demo rebel ambush, absolutely exploding the army of E1A2 in the middle of the map, but that guy still has 35k in the bank as a MiG crashes down to the ground. Kyle's expansion in the middle of the map is about to get shut down. The defense has held off this attack on the right side. E1A2 has been pushed back, but the production doesn't stop. He's down to 25k in the bank. He is massively overspending for how much cash he has. Those cats made short work of that sneak attack. No reinforcements onto the front line for you. Anthrax bomb comes in. It misses as the GATs tear it apart, and the rocket buggies will bring everything else down. The defense from Kylerino is almost good enough, but there's been so much damage to KING-MORA and Windows 98, both of whose economy is pretty much shot. Their entire bank has basically been spent. KING-MORA's got $2 grand in the bank and no income, and then the same thing with Windows 98, but he's got nothing in the bank and no income. It all comes down to Kyle in the north. One single command center trying to reestablish itself, and Target Monkey will target that down. Arty Strike comes in, MiGs as well, but the command center still stands. No combination with a MiG strike and with a carpet bomb to bring down that command center. Well, Kylerino can do it, but can he do it with only the help of Windows 98? KING-MORA bows out, and Windows 98, he's going to keep up the MiG strikes, I guess, as long as he can. He's got a little bit of income. I think he can sell something off maybe if he needs to finish off that supply dock, and then he can get it back underway, that supply center. And he might be able to get back into this game. Anthrax on the low ground, poisoning all of the units that pass through it, and it's going to be up to lounderr with this massive GAT army to hold the front line with E1A2 and stop the counterattack from Kyle. Kyle's counterattack has failed, and now he has very little in his bank, despite the fact that he's got 36k per minute of income. He can't defend everywhere at once, and that supply center barely not finished, moments away, or dollars away, I should say, from finishing, but it just doesn't finish. And this has been a fully super power or super weapon-less game, as Windows 98 has been defeated, leaving only Kyle on the north side. An EMP does land, and Kyle has an incredibly hard-to-crack base under normal circumstances. But this is against a triple team, and all three teams still have their command centers. They still have the ability to call in those support powers, and they can blast this base from afar with those support powers until the end of time. Kyle setting up a fresh expansion over here on the left side. 3 additional war factories over there just to keep his production online. And it's going to be a MiG strike coming in. Kyle will fight this one out, it seems, to the bitter end. It would be an amazing comeback story, a 1v3, but I think he would need some super weapons under his control. Carpet bomb will land. Couple of shots. No shots land from the carpet bomb. Just the arty strike, which cannot be stopped. It cannot be sniped from the sky. E1, A2, and lounderr on the south side of the map, pushing in to the north. Target monkey on the left side, keeping the front line moving forward on his side, or at least distracting Kyle over on the left side, and keeping some of the forces from re-engaging here on the right side. The war of attrition will be won this time by the red team in the south. It was a double GLA and a China against a double GLA and a China on both sides. But in this case, stealth and vanilla wins out over demo. It's not always the case, but it is the case here. GG gets called as Kyle has been defeated. A no super weapon 3v3. And on Twilight Flame, no less. Always love to see a map that we don't see quite as much. And well played to all of these contestants. E1, A2, and Kyle Reno, definitely the standouts in terms of economy. But Target Monkey, with that consistent attack on the left side of the map, breaking Windows 98 pretty early on in the game. But Windows 98 never giving up those MiG strikes, so consistent and so powerful throughout the entirety of the game. And that will do it for this match. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And this is Sybert signing out.